Happy birthday, Elvis, wherever you are. Anyway, it's snowing here, winter's here, and it's cold. I backed my truck out of the garage. It was 33 degrees in my garage, but when I backed it out, it went down to 21 degrees immediately. So it's cold out, and critters are cold. Anyway, my son feeds the deer with mineral blocks and corn and stuff. So everybody needs to eat, right? So anyway, there's going to be a lot of changes going on in healthcare, which Trump is doing, thank goodness. And one of them is going to be med beds. They're going to be available to the general public by the end of this month, and they're free. They're absolutely free to use. Helen's here. Okay, welcome everybody. And so anyway, med beds are coming. They're free for everybody. So they're not, it's going to take away the profit out of healthcare, which to me is a good thing, because everybody will have access to the same healthcare. And med beds, according to what I've heard, cure cancer in 3 minutes. And all other things too, Alzheimer's disease, dementia, all that stuff is going to be a thing of the past. And of course, Robert Kennedy Jr. has been on the bandwagon because a good share of the pharmaceutical drugs, which Doc knows are petroleum based, which are really, really not good for you. And I think Avantia, which was a diabetic drug, killed 100,000 diabetics before they took it off the market. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it killed my husband's next older brother. He would have been 62 7 days after he died. And his daughter was going to try to do something about it, but we all know it's hard to sue him. I remember when we used to have our meetings, Doc, and you said of all the maiming that doctors do and all the damage they do to their patients, what do you think is the percentage of people that they damage that sue them? And you're gonna be shocked because it's minuscule. 0.5% of the people that get maimed by doctors actually sue. So what about the other, 99.5% of the damage that they do? They get away with it. Nobody ever does anything to them, right, Doc?
That's right. Well, they're doctors. They get away with it.
They literally get away with murder because of what they do, and they call it standard.
It's ignorance. These are not stupid people, but they're taught misinformation in school, and they use what they're taught in school. And this is why we have the problems. And that's one of the things where, now they're coming out with something that's very, very stupid. Let's see here. It's this president that just died at 100, Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a peanut farmer, right?
Yeah.
He lived to be 100. Now, most people who eat peanuts get don't get liver. They get cancer. Why do they get cancer if they're eating peanuts? Because the peanuts grow in soil and they get a fungus attack, Aspergillus flavus, which produces aflatoxin, which produces liver cancer. And I don't know, 5 or 7 or 8 years ago, I was called by a bunch of zoo directors, and they asked me, "Can you help us?" I said, "Well, what can I do for you?" "Yeah, I worked with Marlin Perkins at St. Louis Zoo, and I worked in a lot of zoos. What's going on?" "Well, all the bears in all of the zoos around the world are getting liver cancer. Doesn't matter. Every zoo in the world, the bears are getting liver cancer." I said, "Are there any other animals in the zoo getting liver cancer or just the bears?" "Just the bears." Well, that told me a big story right there. Okay. And that's because the bears were getting fed peanuts being sold at the front gate so they could get money to run the zoos. Then the people who bought the peanuts would throw them to the bears. The bears would get liver cancer and die. And so that's why none of the other animals were getting the problem, because they weren't getting the peanuts. And so how come Jimmy Carter, who was a peanut farmer for 70 years before he died, how come he didn't get cancer? Well, right now, the doctors are running around saying no alcohol, no wine, no beer, no whiskey. And there's people all over the world who drink enormous amounts of wine and beer and whiskey, and they don't get cancer. So what's going on? Okay, well, the fungus in the soil, Aspergillus flavus, produces aflatoxin, which produces liver cancer. And people, they might not quite, they might die before they get liver cancer. They wind up getting terrible, terrible liver disease, headed towards liver cancer. Okay. And it's one of those things where this is, as soon as we got I wrote a letter to the editors of the International Zoo yearbook, I don't know, 5 years ago, something like that. It wasn't an article. It was just a letter to the editor and told them about that. But all the zoo directors read that, and they took the bears off of the peanuts and they started selling them popcorn and rice sticks instead of peanuts. And within a couple of months, all the liver cancer in bears stopped around the world. I mean, it was very dramatic, just to say the least. Now, here's the problem. Well, when you get the information, so we've been eating peanuts all our life. Look at that, Jimmy Carter, president. He ate peanuts all his life. He was a peanut farmer. How come he didn't get cancer? Okay, well, here's why. I guarantee you he didn't eat the peanuts that were grown out in those fields. I guarantee you he had either metallic buckets, or he had big wooden baskets that he had his peanuts growing in, and he had artificial soils and fertilizer and all that kind of stuff. The Aspergillus flavus toxins on his peanuts. That's why he lived to be 100.
Okay. Well, he couldn't have been like a normal person.
No.
And maybe he didn't even eat peanuts. Maybe when my dad repaired machinery for a living, but he never wanted to repair my mother's washing machine. So you know how that goes. Whatever you do for a living, maybe he didn't really like peanuts. Possible.
Well, whatever.
You almost have to get a hold of
I guarantee he was not eating the same peanuts that everybody else was eating. Okay.
No, he could have been.
Yeah. And so this is very simple. You can significantly reduce your risk of cancer and surviving if you already have cancer by getting rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no barley, rye, and oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. The diet one's got to go. And then you take the 90 essential nutrients, healthy brain and heart pack, say, well, it's a little expensive. Well, you're going to argue about $10 extra a month. Okay, so it's going to add 10, 15, 25, 30, 40, 50 years to your life. Come on. And so it's very interesting. The emergency room doctors in America, their average lifespan is 57.6. 57.6 is the average lifespan of emergency room medical doctors in America. That's not very good. Okay, that's because they eat all the fast foods, drink all the carbonated drinks. They're just eating fast foods and all that kind of stuff because they're busy taking care of people with accidents and strokes and that kind of thing. And then you look at the longest lived people on Earth. Back in the days of the land flowing with milk and honey, was it goat's milk? Was it cow's milk? Was it milk from deer? No. Was it camel milk? No. Giraffe milk? No. It was glacial milk. As the glaciers grinding up the rocks at the top of the mountains, and that rock dust was white, got into the streams coming down the side of the mountains. It looked like milk coming down the side of the mountains. And then what about the honey piece of it? Well, the honey, the bees were going crazy because of all those minerals coming down the side of the mountains. There was more flowers, more pollen, more bees, more honey. So that's why in the Bible, 2,000 years ago, they were writing about 5 or 6 places chosen by God who lived to be well beyond 120, 200, 300, because they were living in the land blessed by God the land flowing with milk and honey. Now, they didn't know all the chemistry and this, that, and the other, but they just knew that it was unimpeachable evidence that people who lived in those areas, okay, drinking that water as drink, okay, making their wine out of it, cooking with it, irrigating their crops with it, okay, and they're getting all those minerals, and that's why they live to be 120 and 200. Well, today, the Pakistanis living in the Himalayan mountains, okay, the Hunzas, their average lifespan is 120. They don't have a single medical doctor in Hunza, yet they live to be 120. That's their average lifespan. Many of them live to be 200. Okay, so why is it? Why is it then that the outside world doesn't say, hey, we need to do what they're doing? Oh, it's a genetic thing. There's no genetic diseases. The only thing that genetics is involved with is eye color, skin color, hair color, and it tells you if you're a boy or girl. That's it. All the diseases, well, everybody in our family's got the same disease. Well, that's because everybody in the family is eating grandma's recipes. Okay.
Yep. Out of the same trough. You're right. You're right. And remember that Renee Taylor visited the Hanses, and their apples grow to be a pound apiece because of the fertilizer. And when they get to be 100, they dye their beards red. Remember?
Yep.
And there's a video of a man 145 years old playing volleyball in the documentary. And nobody's in this country has lived to be 145, let alone stood up and played volleyball. Everybody, that's just happened here. You would think that people, would want to. The rumor is that things are going to change because they're going to eliminate pharmaceutical drugs, and they're going to start. And Robert Kennedy Jr. is going to help do this. Teach people. They said suppressed natural healing remedies, which is what we do. That's exactly what we're doing. And it's going to help us tremendously, because when people can go in a med bed and get rid of cancer in 3 minutes and other stuff like that, it's going to make people start to be more aware of what they eat and what environment they're in and what they do for a living. I mean, when you work in a shop, a body shop, you're going to get a lot of chemicals on you, cleaning your hands with paint thinner and lacquer and all that stuff. So it's going to make people much more aware of their environment, much more aware of what they put in their body. So I think it's going to make people start living a lot longer. And you can't go in a med bed they're going to eventually come out with med beds for home use. Right now, they don't have them, but they will come out with them.
Okay, well, let me interrupt you there because I only have a few more minutes. So keep us informed on the bed thing. But I want to ask if any of our people who are on the air with us right now, do they have any questions about anybody in their longevity business or family, their neighbors or workmates, any health issues they want to talk about?
Go ahead and raise your hand, guys, if you have a question. I'm watching for you. And while they're raising their hands, can I get on my soapbox just for 1 minute, Doc? We talk about the new year and post-Christmas, post-holiday health, weight, but a healthy diet isn't really about weight. Weight's a side effect of not being healthy. And so your sugars and your blood pressures and any other little added extra you have is your deficiency, and your deficiency causes you to eat more food and gain weight. Just because you lose weight, it doesn't mean you're still healthy. You may not be healthy. That's why the 90s are so important for all the body healing.
You get an A+. Everybody needs the 90 essential nutrients. Okay. And this is where the people who lived a long time, who lived, like the Hunzas, living in the Himalayan mountains, why they lived to be 120, because they're not even thinking about it. They're living in an area in the Himalayan mountains, getting all that glacial milk, and they use it to make their beer and wine with. They use it to cook with. They use it to make their coffee with. They make their stew with it. They irrigate their crops with it. And all those minerals are getting into the food, getting into the soil. And that's why they live so long. Okay. Has nothing to do with genetics, certainly not due to medical doctor care, because they don't have any medical doctors. Okay. And it's one of those things where this is unimpeachable evidence. This goes back just in the old Bible. The stories about the lands flowing with milk and honey are in the old Bible 2,000 years ago. So they knew that there was something unique about those places. Now, they didn't know the answers because they didn't have the ability to do chemistry tests on the food and the soil and the blood and all that kind of stuff. But they knew that people in that area lived to be 120 or 200. The people who lived, say, 50 or 100 miles away, they only lived to be 28. There was an average lifespan in many, many communities, 28, 30. That was about it. Because they were eating food that didn't have any nutrition in it. Plants cannot make minerals. Plants can make a few vitamins, not all of them, but plants can make a few vitamins. Plants cannot make any minerals. If they're not in the soil, they're not in those plants. Plants only need 3 minerals. If you look at commercial fertilizers, there's only 3 minerals in commercial fertilizers. So if you go to the grocery store and you buy carrots and tomatoes and broccoli and all that kind of stuff in a grocery store, and they're grown on a typical American farm with commercial fertilizer with 3 nutrients in it, they only have 3 minerals. And that's why we're having so much trouble with our health. Okay. This is not difficult. Now, once you know the basic cause of all this, then you need to be getting people, get them the book. It's all in your head. Okay. It's also on page 6, osteoporosis of skull. They don't teach this in medical school. And you talk to the doctor about osteoporosis of skull, they'll laugh at you. There's no such thing as osteoporosis of skull, really.
There's a picture of it right there.
You can see the picture right there now. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, we've sold out of those what flip charts. We're making some more flip charts. Might be a couple of weeks before we have more flip charts. But in the flip charts, if you have one, go look somewhere in the first third. There's the same picture going over the difference between a normal skull in a human being, which is 1/4 inch thick, and the osteoporosis of the skull, which is 1.5 to 2 inches thick. And it squeezes the tunnels that the 12 pairs of cranial nerves in the spinal cord go through. Okay, and the next page over, same book, the same, just flip chart. Okay, it shows where all those 12 pairs of cranial nerves are going into each tissue and organ system. Tells you what nutrients are missing, and then there's 12 chapters in this little book, and it tells you what nutrients to take to get rid of each of those diseases. I mean, I don't know how to be more helpful. And then the metabolic syndrome. We're the worst when it comes to metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome is of abdominal obesity, high blood pressure, and type 2 diabetes. And then they may have 50 other different little diseases, like things going on with their toenails and that kind of stuff that irritate them. But when you get the metabolic syndrome, 35% of American adults have the metabolic syndrome. 35% have the metabolic syndrome. Okay, that's terrible. They're just deficient. Okay, and they're obese. They also have type 2 diabetes, which is easily reversible, and also they have high blood pressure, which is easily reversible. Arthritis is the biggest moneymaker, along with, let's see here, arthritis and what's the one, Char, where you get osteoporosis of the bones? It's called osteoporosis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, osteoporosis. Yeah. Okay, now osteoporosis in 3 countries, the United States, England, and one of the English little countries, the 3 of us together each year, we spend 6.7 trillion with a T just to treat the symptoms of osteoporosis, not even to prevent it or fix it, just to treat the symptoms. Arthritis, we spend $626.8 billion just to treat the symptoms, not prevent or cure it. Those 2 things together is over $7 trillion we're spending just to treat the symptoms of arthritis and osteoporosis. Okay, and so we want everybody to get the book, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Okay, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. This book is flying out the door. We sold 450 copies this weekend. We had to get a what do you call it? One of those things where
Forklift?
These books are going out to libraries, to bookstores. And before the book came out, we had let's see here. It was the I'm going to drop
Cassettes? 8-track tape
CDs.
cassettes? Or
No, they weren't cassettes yet. They weren't cassettes yet. They were
8-track.
They were tapes. Okay, they were tapes. We sold over 40 million copies of those tapes. Dead Dogs Don't Lie. Said, "You ever make a book out of this?" We made the book out of it, and then they came out with the CDs, and the CDs we sold over 2 million CDs. Dead Dogs Don't Lie, and now, that past couple of years, we've had DVDs. Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Someone should go to jail, and this is selling like crazy. The DVDs. You can play them on your cassette stuff at home, the tools, all of it. Okay, your phones. This is a DVD. Dead Doctors Don't Lie. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes. 2 hours and 10 minutes. My best lecture I ever gave. And it was professionally, not grandma's stuff, but this is professionally taped. Okay, when I gave a big presentation to over 1,000 people, that's where this Dead Doctors Don't Lie came from. So I urge you to get these things. This Dead Doctors Don't Lie, you can show it to a group in your den. You can show it to a group at the school meeting rooms. You can show it to a restaurant full of people. You can show it to a place where they have all kinds of sports events. Okay. And so this information will save humanity. If people do not go in the right direction here, this is going to be a terrible ending for humanity. Okay?
Yes, Dr. Wallach. And you know what? Part of all of this in our meeting today is to help everybody get in contact with you, because Judy's had her hand up for a long time waiting for your wisdom on whatever her question is.
Okay, let's go to Judy.
Okay, yeah, I've got a former customer who's kind of in a desperate situation, that she had stopped taking the product and had
But you
heart
need to
failure.
talk into the microphone. You keep dipping your head down, and I can't hear you.
Okay, well, I'm trying to look and see what her stats are. That she's 72, 140 pounds, and that she had heart failure, and she's on Entresto. And I've only heard about Entresto. It's a medication that she's
okay,
on.
are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, you say she weighs 142?
140 pounds, yeah.
145, okay. She's getting rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no barley, rye, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. Then she needs 2 Healthy Brain and Heart packs per month, a full dose at breakfast and full dose at dinner time again. And then the secret sauce for heart issues, congestive heart failure and AFib and all that kind of stuff. Okay, now you want to be careful. Don't tell anybody. No, you have to tell everybody this. Okay, so what is it? It's called de-stress. I'm the one that created de-stress. Okay, we gave it that name because we didn't want the medical industry to come after us if we called it by the name it should have.
Okay.
Because it prevents and reverses congestive heart failure. It prevents and reverses all kinds of heart disease like AFib and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And I invented it. I created it. Okay. It's a special nutrition. It'll blow your mind when you read the label. I think it has 8 nutrients in it. Okay. And it'll blow your mind. And it just within days sometimes reverses congestive heart failure. You've been on drugs for, I don't know, 5 years, 10 years. And then, of course, you have people who are on dialysis. They go in every week for dialysis or every 2 weeks for dialysis. We have the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. And so that's a good one to throw in when people have congestive heart failure or anything going on with the heart. Throw in the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. You can take at 143, 145 pounds. You could take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner. the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. That's with everything else. And have her call you every week or 10 days, because she is going to see great stuff happening. We turn around so many people that are going in for dialysis, so many people that are going in for heart therapy and all this kind of stuff. And they're talking about heart transplants. And really, it's just simple nutritional deficiencies. And you change the diet so you can absorb and no irritation. Get on all the nutrition, the 90. And I would say, give me 90 days. If you do exactly what I say for 90 days, the odds are you're going to see significant improvement or complete resolution. Okay. We do this with thousands of people a day. Okay. All over the world. We're in 81 countries. Okay.
What she was concerned about was how does she back off of the heart medicine?
Okay. What you do is don't back off the heart medicine on your own. Go to the doctor and say, I'm feeling pretty good. You want to, give me a test and see if you can reduce my heart medicine. Let the doctor do the reduction based on, the test.
Okay. The problem is that this stuff costs thousands of dollars.
What stuff?
The heart medicine.
Well, yeah, the heart medicine. Well, I've got insurance. At 3:00 in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, when Thomas Edison pulled the switch and turned on electricity. 3 months after that, everybody's dying like crazy because they weren't getting the minerals anymore from the wood ashes and coal ashes when they went to electricity.
Right.
Then the insurance people were very smart. They said, oh, let's put up an insurance policy. People will buy that and we'll pay reduced amounts for their care. And they'll be happy because we'll be paying for the therapy. And that's where the health insurance thing came from. When people were dying like flies when we went to electricity because they didn't have the wood ashes and coal ashes, or they were getting their minerals for over 10 million years.
Well, the problem is the doctors don't want to stop giving out the drugs, selling the drugs, because they get a kickback on all of them, and that's how they make their money now.
Well, yeah, that's how they send their kids to school. That's how they send their kids to college. That's how they buy the nice houses. I hope they didn't buy their houses in Los Angeles. The houses are burning there like crazy right now.
I know. Robert Kennedy's house is in the line of fire right now, apparently. So, yeah, it's not good. They said two people already have died.
Any more questions?
Any more hands up? Well, Dr. Wallach, I have a friend who's talking about supplements, but because of her long extended illness, she's hesitant, but she has an autoimmune hepatitis and she has lots of ups and downs. And she was talking about stabilization of her blood sugar and the swelling of her liver and all these other things. And so I thought I'd put that in your hands.
Sounds like she's got metabolic syndrome.
Metabolic syndrome. Okay. And just give her the book.
Okay. How much does she weigh now?
140, because her weights are coming
Everybody
down
weighs
right
140 now. Okay, 140. Needs to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no brown rye oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. The diet one's got to go. 140 pounds. She's right on that cusp. But if she has stuff going on with her liver, or she's complaining about her liver, okay, then she needs 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. Take a full dose of breakfast, full dose dinner time. She needs 2 bottles a month of our Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Take 3 of those twice a day. That's good for the kidneys, for the liver, for the brain, for the lungs, for the heart. She also needs let's see here. I'd go with the extra selenium. There's selenium in the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. It wouldn't hurt to get another bottle of selenium so she can take 3 times a day. Okay, good for the heart, good for the liver. And then for drinking, instead of the colas, even the diet cola, she needs to be drinking the Rebounder sports drink. It has over 100 nutrients in it between the vitamins and the minerals. And then, of course, it wouldn't hurt for her also to get some of the things like OsteoFX, so liquid, one of our liquids, and it tells you how much to take per, per, I don't know, 10 pounds, 50 pounds of body weight, whatever it is. Okay. And OsteoFX is going to be good for the arthritis and the bones and the joints and all that kind of stuff. And don't forget the glucogel. The glucogel replaces the old bone broth. The old bone broth was used for thousands of years. Okay, cavemen used it. They would boil bones and drink that to make their bone pain go away. Okay, and the boiling of the bones, especially in vinegar, would suck the minerals out of the bones, and then they would drink that vinegar, okay, that had the minerals in it, and all their bone problems would go away. So, I don't know, it's got to be 10, 12, 15 years ago, I came out with the glucogel, okay, to replace the bone broth. And it goes like crazy because it doesn't stink up the house. You don't have to cook all night with it and worry about fire at night and all that kind of stuff. And this is what I use to rebuild my bones and ligaments and tendons and cartilage. We did it for Theo Ratliff and got his career back. He lost his job as a professional athlete because he had arthritis and osteoporosis. In 90 days in our program, we made the glucogel for him. Okay. And so we took our Healthy Start pack and added the glucogel to it. It became the Healthy Bone and Joint pack. And then we made the Rebound or little sports drink for him. And in 90 days, he came back. He passed all the physicals, which he couldn't pass 90 days earlier. All the doctors shaking their head. We don't know what you did, but don't stop. Okay. And in 90 days, he came back. And in 12 years, he made over $70 million in contracts.
And she talks about her sugars being low, not high. Would the glucosamine or the sweeties be helpful, even though her sugars are low?
Okay, well, glucosamine and sweeties, did you say?
The glucogenics for the blood sugar.
Glucogenics, yeah. Yeah,
I said the wrong thing.
Those are secret sauces. Those are to be added to the 90 essential nutrients. Those are not to be taken by themselves. That's why we gave the names of secret sauces, because we didn't want people saying, oh, he said if you take this, you'll get better. Well, you take that with the 90, then you get better.
Okay. Word it that way.
Yeah, you have to take the 90 and the secret sauces. And all these secret sauces, I think we've got like 700 of them, but there's 600. There's 600 different diseases that we have been able to get secret sauces for. Okay, and it's just amazing the things that we do. And we sold out of the flip charts, so we're in the process of ordering more flip charts because the flip charts goes into, I don't know, about a dozen famous people. They're movie stars. They were professional athletes. They're successful business people. Okay, tremendous academics. And they're getting they had terrible diseases that we got rid of with the 90 essential nutrients and the secret sauces. And so they let us put their pictures in the flip chart along with their stories, and it sold like crazy. So we weren't fast enough, and so it'll be probably a month before we get another supply of the flip charts.
Sounds good. Shar, did you have anybody else with questions?
I don't see everybody, but I don't see anybody with their hands up.
No, but
if anybody has a question, if you can't.
Well, I have one other question actually.
Okay, go for it.
I saw this is kind of personal, but I saw an eye doctor today, and she told me some important things. But what I found the most interesting is I have no real sign of cataracts. She said there might be a preliminary coloring change. She said, but that's everybody. But then she also said, when I asked her what I needed to do to keep cataracts from happening, she said, normalize your blood sugar, keep your blood pressure low, and have a healthy diet. So when I go pick up my glasses, I'm going to give her my card to talk about this Zoom to get her on to see the healthiest way to keep your eyes. But
Okay.
if
You
she were to,
also should give her a copy of this book.
It's all in
Oh,
your
okay.
head.
It's all in
It's
your
all in your
head.
head. And this
Yeah,
book
because she never,
continues to fly, if she continues to fly out the door, okay, and she needs to go first before she reads anything. She needs to go to page 6.
that page.
The top picture is a normal skull, a quarter inch thick. The bottom skull's got osteoporosis, 1.5 to 2 inches thick. Well, what does that got to do with cataracts? Well, it squeezes the optic nerve. It squeezes the optic artery, okay, and causes all these things going on in the eyes. It's not an eye problem, it's a skull problem. And here's the next flip the page, and you see the bottom side of a human brain, those 12 pairs of cranial nerves coming out of one side there. And each of those cranial nerves is going to a zone in the body, okay, an organ in the body. And then there's 12 pairs, there's 12 12 chapters. That's what it was. 12 chapters. Okay. Each chapter goes along with one of those nerves and tells you what nutrients to take, secret sauces, along with the 90 essential nutrients. Take the secret sauces for that particular thing. All those diseases will go away in weeks or months, depending on how bad they are. I have people who've been blind for years and years and years and years. In 6 weeks' time, they're reading without glasses. Okay, because they followed the directions in this book. It's all in your head. Okay. You have things going on in your spinal cord. You also want to get, there's a CD that goes along with it because the skull also squeezes the spinal cord. So there's a CD that goes along with that covers all the diseases that are caused by squeezing the spinal cord. But don't forget those 12 pairs of cranial nerves. Okay, there's over, 60 different diseases that you can get from osteoporosis in the skull, squeezing those nerves. Doctors do not get this training in school. They'll laugh at you, say, who told you about osteoporosis? There's no such thing as osteoporosis skull, because they weren't taught about that in school. Right now, you know more about osteoporosis of the skull than all the doctors in the world, except me. Okay? Okay. So this is all reversible stuff. Okay? And, but this is how doctors get their kids in college. They're able to pay for their houses. I just hope that none of them are in LA, because I don't wish that on anybody. Okay? Like, a lot of people are losing their houses, their homes, their jobs. People are fleeing the city and the surrounding areas by the thousands. It's a terrible thing going on up there. And it's because nobody paid attention to the details. And when the fire came, it was able to burn the entire community because nobody was paying attention to detail. Everything's fine.
Well, the environmentalists, they need to take out the brush and keep the brush clean. That's what my son takes care of our woods. And a guy came to fix a phone service once or something when my husband was alive, and he thought we had a gardener. And I said, no, that's not a gardener. That's my husband. He takes care of all that. And if a fire did happen, the only way it could spread is from the trees that are touching each other. But the underbrush, you got to keep the underbrush out and, keep it mowed down so that the fire can't spread on the ground like that. And if they would have done that, it wouldn't have cured everything, but it would have stopped a lot of the fire spreading. I know the wind is pretty bad over there by the ocean, which makes it go from one tree to another, which is not good. I guess I'm glad I live in Michigan and not in California, because I wouldn't. The fire insurance there has got to be horrendous.
Okay, well, Shar, here's another one. Let's Play Doctor. We sell millions of these books every year. Let's Play Doctor. It teaches people how to diagnose, how to treat high blood pressure, diabetes, arthritis, osteoporosis, heart disease, all kinds of brain stuff, eye stuff. It's all in this book. We sell it in I don't know how many languages. And one of our distributors up in Canada got it being printed in Canada, going all over Europe, this book. Okay. And don't forget the CDs and DVDs and all that in the books to go along with that. And then we have Let's Play Herbal Doctor. It's the exact same thing as Let's Play Doctor, but instead of all the nutrients, this goes into the herbs that will resolve these diseases. Okay, and there's a CD.
And we
that
have
goes
another,
with it.
we have another hand raised, Shar.
Okay, we have a hand.
Oh, okay. Martha. Go ahead, Martha.
Okay, I'll ask her to mute, and then there was somebody else on the phone that had their
Yes,
hand
I'm here.
raised.
I'm here.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi.
I can't see that.
My stepfather was just diagnosed with Parkinson's about 2 years ago. I started taking medication for it. It didn't really do anything, so he quit medication, and he's just basically living like that. But he's
Okay.
eating
How
a
much
lot of
does he weigh?
candy and sugar and
How
stuff.
much
So
does
it's
he
gotten
weigh?
worse.
How much does he weigh?
He's overweight, at least 280.
Okay, so Parkinson's disease is a loss of the white matter of the brain and the spinal cord. Okay, and you lose the ability to think and the ability to remember and the ability to follow directions and all that kind of stuff. It really restricts your life terribly. And again, this is one of the reasons why we've sold so many of those flip charts. Now, the flip charts, I've only got 2 left. Okay, and so we're in the process of printing them. So it'll be about maybe a couple of weeks or a month before we get the flip charts again. But the flip charts, okay, were actually made for these kinds of things. Okay, let me get one out here. Okay, just a second. We'll be selling these flip charts.
We have it. We have one here.
Okay, good. Okay, hold it up. Flip chart. I don't see it.
She's on the phone. That's why.
We're on the phone right now.
Okay, does she have the phone person? Does she have the flip chart?
We have one here, though. Yeah.
Okay, well, hold it up. Okay, now here's the deal. When you have Parkinson's disease, it's not a genetic disease. Okay, it's a simple nutritional deficiency. And that's why we came up with the I-26. I take 3 of these 2 times a day minimum, sometimes 3 times a day. And I like the French vanilla ones. They also come in banana coconut. Okay. These little chewables are soft. Soft chewable. Okay. I take 3 of those for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And they have the raw materials for your brain and spinal cord to be repaired by your skull and your vertebrae. Okay. We had people who had Parkinson's disease for 12, 15 years. The doctor said, okay, to their family, this is the end. This is the end. This person can be dying in the next couple of weeks, die in their sleep, or be walking along, just drop dead. And in 2 months' time, they went back for another physical, and everything was normal. Doctor said, well, that's not your data. It's to come back tomorrow. We run all the tests. They reran all the tests. Everything was normal again. That's because her relative made sure she got her all her supplements, including the 90 essential nutrients, including the I-26, rebuilt her brain, rebuilt her spinal cord, and now she's running around the world telling the world how she got rid of Parkinson's disease after 12 years. Okay, and so I don't know how many hundreds now. We have hundreds of people who we have reversed Parkinson's disease in, and so if they're prepared to do something in addition to whatever the doctor is saying, okay, we're not telling you to abuse the doctor, but you have to, if you want to live and you have Parkinson's disease, you want to take the I-26, take at least 3 of those chewables 3 times a day, or 3 of the capsules, or 3 scoops of the powder. Okay, however you like it. I like the chewables. They're soft chewables, they're not crunchy. And you want to be sure that you're getting rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no white brown rye oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. And you get a hold of the book, Epigenetics. Get a hold of the book, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Get a hold of the book. It's all in your head.
We have that here too. Okay.
Yeah, okay, it's all in your head. And read about these diseases of the brain, and you'll see that they're just simple nutritional deficiency diseases. And so you take the nutrients, stay away from the bad stuff, And the rate of success is close to 95, 98%.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm here with Dave from the Thumb.
Okay, well, he's heard me tell that story many times.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's smiling. Okay, thank you so
Shar,
much,
any more?
Doctor.
Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I thought I saw another hand up.
Martha's got her hand up.
Okay.
Okay, Dr. Wallach, we have a 56-year-old woman who has chronic Epstein-Barr virus. She has trouble standing or walking for very, very far and chronic tired. So what can she add to the 90?
Okay,
She
end of
weighs
the 90, get rid of all the bad foods, but then she needs our colloidal silver. A dropper full under her tongue on the right side, a dropper full under her tongue on the left side, 10 minutes before breakfast, 10 minutes for lunch, 10 minutes for bedtime, 10 minutes for bedtime. Okay? The colloidal silver doesn't have any alcohol in it. It won't sting, won't burn. You can put it in an open wound. It won't sting. It looks like water, tastes like water, smells like water. But it's been used to get rid of terrible, terrible epidemics for over 400 years before people could even read. Okay? For some reason, they're using colloidal silver to get rid of parasites in their sheep. And somebody took it when they got all these infections from these plagues. They're curing and preventing the plagues by drinking the colloidal silver.
Wow.
I've been doing this for years now, okay? And it's one of those things where you think about it. All the people that I go, all the events and events around the world, in big events in schools and auditoriums, and shopping centers, and everybody wants to run up and give me a hug and shake my hands, and they didn't wash their hands after they went potty. Okay, they want to shake my hands and give me a hug, and then the girls kiss me on the cheek and all that kind of stuff. Well, guess what? I haven't had a cold. Talk to Shar. I haven't had a cold or pneumonia or anything like that in over 75 years because they take my colloidal silver 4 times a day, not just 1 dropper full, 3 droppers full, 4 times a day. Left side, right side, center. Okay. And if you get something going on, every once in a while, I'll get a little tickle in one of my nostrils. I'll just squirt one of those little droppers of the colloidal silver up in that nostril, and the next day everything's fine.
So somebody asked me the other day if they can use colloidal silver in their eye for an eye infection.
Yeah, yes. If you have an eye infection, absolutely. It won't sting, won't hurt your eyes, because it's what should I say? It's in sterile water, and it has nothing in it that is irritating.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet. Good question.
Introducing our most advanced nutritional support, 3.0 Rise and 3.0 Restore by Youngevity. This all-new 2-part formulation builds upon almost 30 years of research and success of our legacy nutrition products. This is BTT 3.0, but with a new identity, to highlight the inclusion of targeted support ingredients for an even more robust supplement. The new 3.0 Rise and Restore boosts health around the clock, using time-duration nutrition for better absorption and utilization of each ingredient. This dual system goes beyond vitamins and minerals to provide targeted support for things important to all of us, like cognitive health, stress defense, mood wellness, and more. Designed to be taken specifically in the morning and evening, Rise and Restore gives you exactly what you need when you need it for maximum health benefits. Formulated with more whole foods and plant-based ingredients, this system is the most comprehensive nutritional support ever offered by Youngevity. Rise is gluten-free and vegetarian-friendly and features nootropic cognitive support with energy and metabolism-boosting ingredients as well as mood-boosting components. It also provides phytonutrients for everyday antioxidant and immune support and cellular hydration support. Restore is also gluten-free and vegetarian-friendly, designed with restorative nutrients to help your body recover from the day's stressors, featuring circulation and cardiovascular support, ashwagandha for relaxation and stress relief, detox support, pre- and probiotics for good gut health, as well as an adaptogenic blend for reducing stress, anxiety, and fatigue. Together, these innovative research-driven formulas provide a full-circle approach to daily foundational nutrition for an active life, all in great-tasting new flavors that make this product an easy lifestyle addition you'll look forward to each day, to help set the tone for productive days and restful nights. As research continues to identify opportunities to improve health, Youngevity will be at the forefront of those discoveries. Our mission has always been to support your overall health. Now we're going even deeper to target and support your optimal health, wellness, and happiness. Welcome to a new era in Youngevity nutrition.